What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here to bring you 8 hidden gems to target late in your fantasy football drafts. Now, let's talk about it. This is my first ever fantasy football video, and to give you a little background on my fantasy football experience, I barely have any. I only have 1 year of doing it last season, but I did win my league. It was an ESPN joint league. I won that. I won the whole entire thing. Pretty easy, pretty simple for me, honestly. As long as you know ball, you know players, and you can kind of project, it's not that hard. So I'm gonna give you some tips, before the season, but before you start your, or if you want to start another one, because some people like myself have already started weeks ago about my fantasy football draft. So I'm gonna do some more. I have joined two more ESPN leagues this season. I've done two drafts. Probably gonna do maybe one or two more. Not gonna go crazy with it, but I'm gonna give you some tips of mine. This video will be on hidden gems. Next, I might do a video on strategies that I personally use to pick my players. So let's get into it, guys. And first and foremost, let's start with the rookies. Rookies have to be snatched up mid-late round. I think a lot of these rookies, especially this year, will have some high impact. But I'm gonna give you three guys that's kind of bunched up. So they can technically go in just one section, but I'm gonna know they're all separate. I'm gonna bunch them all together if it makes sense. So let's get into it. First, first option, which will be 1, 2, and 3, is Tank Dell, Jordan Addison, and Zay Flowers from the Ravens. Those three guys to me are bunched up. I couldn't really decide, so they can be 1A, 1B, 1C, but it's really 1, 2, 3. Those guys to me are kind of all going to have decent years, but I think one will probably blow up and have a great year. I just can't decide on who. Now, me personally, I would rank it first as Tank Dell being number one, the number one option between those two other guys. Tank Dell and CJ Stroud, they have relationships since the draft, or since prior to the draft. As we all know, Stroud got the Texans to draft Tank Dell. And also the lack of weapons that the Texans have as far as the passing game goes. You have John Mechie, who makes his return to football this season, who I'm very big on since his draft class, but he's more of a speedster. I think Tank Dell can give you a little bit of everything, and he's more of a possession guy, in my personal opinion. So I think he'll be a standout, and probably the main target, the main go-to guy for CJ Stroud. Then you have you probably have Jordan Addison, um, you know, who's with KJ Osborne, who's with Justin Jefferson, and I think I think the Vikings team will be in a high-powered offense, same as they were last year. You had Thielen, Osborne, and you had Justin Jefferson, who went off last year. All eyes will be on Jefferson, so you're gonna need his counterparts, T.J. Hawkinson included, to really step up and make some plays. And I think, honestly, I've been saying this all offseason also. I think Kirk Cousins and the Vikings will be in a lot of shootouts. The defense sucks, and they're going to be in a lot of late game shootouts, trying to come back down by 10 in the fourth quarter. So they're going to be passing the ball a whole lot, in my personal opinion. And they're going to be in some games late, So I do expect Addison, who can create space, who can, do a little bit of everything, deep, mid range, short, and take it to the house. Short throw, short catches, and take it to the house, or get some big yardage. I think he'll have some good moments there. And Zay Flowers, who could definitely, I have ranked right now at number 3, but I could definitely see him being the one that blows up out of these first 3 guys. He's shifty. I don't know what. He's great hands, great speed. So he has everything also. But I think he's a little bit different. To me, honestly, this year the only thing that holds him back is the Ravens depth chart. You have OBJ, you have Bateman, you have Aguilar, you have Mark Andrews. You have more weapons in front of him than either two of the other guys in Addison and Tank Dell. So for me, it's kind of tough. But honestly, I think he could be the one that blows up because OBJ, injury, the knee injury there, the age, is he still good? We don't quite know yet. Bateman, can he hold down the number 2 spot? Aguilar, can he still be solid? So we don't know. We could definitely end the season on Zay Flowers being number 2 option behind Mark Andrews. So that's definitely possible there. Going to my number 4, so Tank Dell 1, Addison 2, Zay Flowers 3. Number 4, and it's no particular order, just having some structure to the video. Number 4 is going to be tough, but 4 and 5 are tight ends, so I'm going back to back tight ends. Number 4, I have Greg Dulcich from the Broncos. I think Sean Payton coming in now. Well, first, Greg Dulcich, second year tight end, had a pretty good year last year. And I think with Sean Payton now added to that Broncos team as the head coach and as the play caller, he will use his strength, which is his speed. Greg Dulcich is fast for a tight end, has good speed, he has good hands, can create good separation, and can beat you deep. I think he will be Russell Wilson's number one option. I really do. I know you have Courtland Sutton. I know you have Jerry Jeudy. I know they didn't want to trade him. You know what? They want to trade him, just had to find the best option, probably a first, second round pick, which they didn't get. But I think Dolchich will be the number one option, will be the go-to guy for Russell Wilson because he's still, you have to prove that he's all the way right. Physically, mentally, we gotta make sure if you're a Broncos fan that he's the guy that you traded for. And I think the best way to get him back there is a good tight end and a good running game. And they do have both, in Javonte Williams and that running back group, and also you have Greg Dulcich, and they brought in Adam Troutman from the Saints, also former Saints tight end who played under Sean Payton a couple years ago when he was coach of the Saints. So I think the running back group and tight end group will be key for the Saints and Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, and I think Greg Dulcich will lead the way for that squad there. Next up, another tight end, going back to back tight ends, at number 5 on my list, and I have Okonkwo from the Titans. He was behind Austin Hooper last year. Hooper, I don't know where he's at now. Is he a free agent or is he going somewhere else? But I know he's not on the Titans anymore. I don't know if he signed somewhere else or what. But he's gonna be to me a breakout star. Him and or Dulcich. I can't really find which one same with the tight ends. I can't really find which one will be the blow up. Will blow up to be a big star or a big name or have a big season, but it's one of these two guys to me personally, as far as the tight ends go. And speedster for a tight end, good strong body, good hands. Same as Dulcich. Not same, but similar type of guy. These tight ends these days aren't slow, laboring guys like Gonzalez and get not slow, but not fast as these guys are these days. Kind of worded it all wrong, but you know what I'm saying. Gonzalez, Gates, those guys were bigger, had some speed to them, but they more Jason Witten, bigger, thicker guys. These guys are a little smaller, a little more compact, but they're definitely, got a little more speed to them, a little more foot quickness also. But I think he'll be a stud in this offense. And you have the play game, the run game with Derrick Henry. You have DeAndre Hopkins. You have Burks. But the play action will be key for the Titans team, which it has been most of the time since Henry has been there. And I think that's where Okonkwo will shine at. So yeah, for me personally, he's going to have a pretty good season. Excuse me, I can call him Okonkwo. That's his name, Okonkwo. I don't know why I could call him Okonkwo for some reason, but Okonkwo from the Titans. Excuse me for that error. Next up, so that's 5. Next up, I have Antonio Gibson, a running back for the Commanders, and he's someone I've been high on since I seen him in college. I seen him play in college at Memphis, do it all back, and I think him with Eric Bieniemy will be a great addition for both him and the offensive play caller. Because I do think Bieniemy will be the head coach of the Commanders in 2024, and I think Gibson can be a Pro Bowl style back. And he reminds, and me personally, out of him and Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson gives you more of a Kareem Hunt vibe. Can do it all, receiving back, run the ball, all that good stuff. And we know, you go back, you rewind all the way back a couple years ago to when Kareem Hunt was with Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid back in those early Chiefs days, prior to their dynasty starting. Kareem Hunt was a monster. So under Eric Bieniemy's watch, under Andy Reid's watch, and I think Gibson could give you some of the same effect, honestly. So for me, I think Gibson has a little breakout year. Next up, I have James Cook, running back from the Buffalo Bills. This is someone I believed in since I first seen him in college. The speed is immense, and now he has a range really all to himself. Zach Moss is now gone. I forgot where Zach Moss went to. Devin Singletary is now gone. He's with the Texans. Sharon carries with Pierce down in Houston. So I think James Cook, the show needed to be his, and it definitely is his now. And I think he'll perform. Last year I think he was a little too light, a little too small. Wasn't ready for the physicality. I remember his first carry last year was a fumble, but as the season went on, he had some good moments. He performed pretty well. I think this year he'll step it up a notch and really show what he's worth. I was beating on my table years ago when he was drafted by my Falcons. I definitely wanted him to be a Falcon. I thought it made sense stay in Georgia, but I'm happy we got Bijan and Algier, honestly. So I'm happy that we didn't get him, but during the time, I definitely wanted him to be an Atlanta Falcon. I believed in him that much. I thought he'll be pretty solid. I think he'll have a pretty solid year with the Buffalo Bills this year. Next up, number 7, Daniel Jones for the New York Giants. I think he will have a fantastic year. Seeing the preseason game kind of won me over. Seeing him with Darren Waller for that one drive, they look great together. If everyone can stay healthy, Saquon, Darren Waller, two guys who have been a little injury prone the last couple of years, if they can stay healthy, they have a good receiving core now. No one really stands out as being great, but everyone's pretty solid. Slayton, Shepard, Hodges, Wandale Robinson, Hyatt. They have two tight ends in Waller and Bellinger. So if they can keep that core intact for the most part, someone will get injured, no question about it. I hope everyone stays healthy, but more likely than not, someone will be a little banged up. But they can keep most of that core together, and everyone stays healthy. I think Jones has a phenomenal season, and he's someone I've seen most late in drafts that you can grab pretty late. Everyone's gonna go for the Fields, Hurts, Herbert, Mahomes, but I've seen Kirk Cousins and I've seen Daniel Jones for some reason be around a little later than they should in my two drafts that I experienced so far this season. And last one, and this is the number 8. This player to me is the most boom or bust. I think if you grab him and he pans out, you can win your league. If you grab him and he doesn't, you might lose it. Or you better have a pretty good backup running back. And that's Rachaad White from the Buccaneers. Keyshawn Vaughn and Chase Edmonds are behind him. I do understand that. But you have Baker Mayfield announced his starter yesterday for the Bucs. If Baker is benched, you have Kyle Trask. Those two guys will be dink and dunk guys. Those two guys will rely on the running back game heavy in the run and in the pass for a receiving back. And Rachaad White can do it all. He has potential out of Arizona State University a couple of years ago. And it's his show to shine now. It's his time to shine. He has, to me personally, he has the clear step above Vaughn and above Chase Edmonds. But like I said, there will be some what's the word I'm trying to look for? There will be some rotation. I'm pretty sure because all three are pretty solid. But I think he does have a little edge on both those two other guys. And Rachaad White is talented. He played with Brady. He showed some flashes his rookie season. I think this year they're gonna let him start off strong, and we'll see if he can start off strong. If he can't, then they'll employ more of a rotation and bring Edmund and bring Vaughn in also. So there's definitely a chance he could lose his job early on during the season, or it's definitely a chance he could have a breakout season for Tampa and kind of carry a load on offense along with the receivers, because I think Baker is going to be more of a dink and dunk guy, and a receiving back out the backfield like Rachaad White could definitely give Baker more time, more room to breathe, because the O-line isn't quite what it was when Brady was there 2 years ago. Well, when they was a perennial playoff team or had deep playoff runs a couple years ago when they won the title. That O line has definitely changed up some. The defense isn't what it was either. So the team doesn't expect to be good, but I think Rachaad White could definitely be a breakout star for the Bucks this season, or he could be benched, and Von Edmonds and him just share carries and share the load. When you have Baker and Trask back there, so we'll see what happens. I think there's no middle ground, honestly. I think it is boom or bust for Rachaad White, and I hope it'll be a boom. Like I said, I wish the best for all players, but he's someone that you could definitely pick just to see. If you start off strong, you go ahead and throw him in. If he doesn't, he's just a death piece. So someone that you can probably waive later or trade later. Find someone gullible to trade for him. So, but we'll see where it goes, guys. That's my 8 hidden gems for this draft season for your fantasy football teams. I will see you guys next time.